So here we go. It's been like an hour and a half or so. I went for a walk. Most of just to waste some time because most of that time was like rendering the video. It's about an hour and a half. I need to keep it shorter than that, just at a go, which there's no reason. Who cares? But it took a long time to render it, and so I'm back here. This computer has an i5, I think. Yeah, it's an i5. So it does pretty good, but it took it a little while. I've never seen that before. I just upgraded to Catalina. Oh, cool. Alright. Wish I kept Mojave. Just because of some little hiccups that I ran into with permissions for like the microphone and everything. I couldn't record in Audacity. Initially, I had to upgrade my version of Audacity to fix a bug where it wouldn't ask for microphone permissions. Even though you reset the microphone permissions for the app and everything, it wouldn't even show up in the permissions list to manually add it. But the newest version of Audacity fixed that, which my version was old. Alright. So while I was walking, I was thinking about it, and I don't like this. I don't really care to use this table business. I don't know. I'm gonna probably just. I think I'm just gonna do stuff like create some like paragraph elements or span elements or something, and just insert them into like page divisions or something. But now I need to actually figure this out. I really need to actually figure this out now, because we actually have something to represent, and I'm going to need to start making it make sense, because the arrangement of it on screen will actually dictate to a certain degree what I'm coding. Because it will tell me if it actually makes sense. Another thing that I need to do, honestly, is to get more familiar with how solitaire works. And so I'm going to try to work out here a little bit of both things. Let's get our representation right and just kind of come up with some ideas. I'm going to get my live preview going, because we probably will write some HTML. Here we go. I'm trying to think of how I want it to actually look. So let's see. I'm trying to think of a quicker way to do this. I'm going to come to the container, and I'm going to give it a little bit of a top margin. Nah, I don't know if I want to do that. Let's get rid of this. What is this? This is the table box. Let's just do that to the table box, because I want to keep my class real nice and general. I'm going to give it a margin top of just give it a little space. Oh, I'm going to call it play box. Give it a little space there. I'm going to come inside. Now, I'm going to try to generate this stuff in JavaScript. What I'm thinking about is putting some divisions inside of there. And maybe putting some page divisions inside of there, and maybe just floating them next to each other. I'm going to mock it up. I want to generate it in JavaScript, but I want to mock it up to see what it looks like. Let's see. I'm going to create div. I'm going to give it a class of tableau column. Let's see. And I'm going to create several of these. I know that this would probably be best to use like the newer. I need 7 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. To use, let's just go ahead and learn that how to use border box or whatever. I can't, not border box. Where you can just say flex box, I think they called it. So it says, what is it? Because I know I could float them, but floats are always weird. Responsive grid. Is it grid? It's not a grid, is it? It's like display flex box, display grid, inline grid. Rows, gaps. I mean, this could work. Grid. Have my items inside it. Display grid. Display inline grid. Let's see if it'll just I also want each one of these to have a container. I also want each one of these to have container. So I'm going to do that and say container. Alright. Okay. And then what can I do? The vertical lines are called columns. The horizontal lines are called rows. Spaces are called gaps. Looks like display grid, grid column gap, grid row gap. I'm only going to have a single row. So let's do this. I'm going to say, can I do this? This is the table box. So table box, I'm going to say display grid. Okay. And then I can say, what is it? Grid. Can I set the width? This is grid item at column 1. Let it end on column 3. How do I set the width? Do I set the width? When its display property is set to grid or inline grid. What's the difference with an inline grid? Inline, display inline, I know takes like a block level element and allows you to put more than one of them next to each other. All direct children automatically become grid items. Rows, gaps. That's setting the gap. Is there a grid columns? Let's say CSS grid. Let's see. Probably want to see, yeah, Mozilla. Grid column. Okay. So I can set the number of columns. Alright, so I want there to be 7 columns. Let's see if this works the way I'm thinking it does. Display grid. Grid template columns. They did some like a function or whatever. I'm just gonna say grid. See if that's in there. Grid template columns. I'm gonna say 7. Auto rows, blah blah blah. Grid column 1. Let's see. Let's look at that property specifically. Defines the line names and track sizing. Grid template columns, 60 pixels. What is an FR? I only know EM and pixel and piece, some other little things. 60 pixels, 60 pixels. So does it work like what is a space divided by 7? What is 100 divided by 7? Everything moves so slowly with the screen recorder going, or with Catalina installed. Perhaps it's that. 100 divided by 7 is about 14, so I'm going to say grid template columns. Can I do percentages? Okay, I can do percentages. Yeah, there we go. Was that function that they were using there? I saw them use some function repeat. That was on. Okay, hold on. Let's search. Let's find out CSS units. FR. The new FR CSS length unit. Good old CSS tricks. I haven't been there in a long time. Here's the spec. It can be used. If you've never seen that repeat function, it's a shorthand. It allows us more succinctly to describe repeating values. We could have written okay, so that seems like it was what it seemed like it was. So I could say repeat 7, say 14%. Repeat 7. Was that how they did it? Let's go back. What did they do? They did repeat 7 is 2 arguments. Repeat 7, 14%. Sweet. Alright. And then I can say grid column gap. I'll make it what, 1%. Okay, and then that'll let me come back. Let's make this 13%. See if I can get it to. Alright, that looks fine there. I have fish sticks in the oven. I'm going to go check that real quick. I'm going to put on a pound today, baby. Alright, so I had a quick snack. Wasn't super quick, but whatever. Where was I? So got some columns here. Not even really sure what I'm thinking of here. let's see. Let's see if I can make this percentage a little. Yeah, that's better. That makes it a little more even. Yeah. I always hate dealing with that. So that looks cool. I'm not gonna obsess over it. What I'm thinking at this point right now is that I'm just gonna insert into each of these like a paragraph element. Like, so if I were to do paragraph element and just do something like that, or just some sort of a whatever, just some sort of a representation. Let's see, what are those little ASCII symbols? What's the, like, I know heart, spade, diamond, and what have you, have like a little ASCII representation, or whatever, UTF-8, however it'll be. But I know there's an alt code that I can use to get to that. Where is it? Oh, there it is. What is it? Pictographs. Yeah, here we go. Black diamond. Well, how do I create it? How does it show up? Two six 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 six. 2666. How do I do that? Unicode, alt codes. How do I do it? So is it just alt 4? How do I do it? No, that's the cent sign. Wait a minute, Mac alt codes. Are they different? Press Option to see one set of symbols or special characters. Option Shift. So, are there other options I can use there? Where is that window? Pictographs. What do I do? Well, I don't know how to. I don't want to copy the info. I just want to. How do I use it? That pastes everything. But I got it. Whatever. I'll figure out how to do that. I could do something like this. And say ace of diamonds there. Right? And then as the row, like, as there, like our other things, because like that first column, let's say it'll have 1 or whatever. This one will have 2. So I can just have this represented in my JavaScript as an array, and then it just extends out, right? And each of these will get just a bit longer. So I end up with that situation. Which is cool. I think that could work. Something like that. Well, which no, these would be, you know, I guess I'll represent it like that, right? Each of these is coming up centered real nicely like that because I have the text aligned center on the whole play area, so everything is coming out centered, which is cool. So I would mock this up something to this effect. Something like this. And then this last one, I don't know why I'm going through all this. This is just kind of thinking time. This is just thinking time. It'll end up something to that effect. So how do I generate that in JavaScript? Okay, it'll be just a matter of representing it properly. What I'm gonna actually do is I'm gonna create, because of the hassle that I don't want to waste any more time on that, I'm gonna just create a put a comment up here. That'll hold. Oh, so I can just do that then. I can just double click. Sweet. Just like that. It's diamond, spade. I'm actually going to get the open ones too, even though they don't show up as well. Very cool. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to copy each of those. I'm going to cut those out, and I'm going to come up here somewhere in the body and just make a comment. What is the comment in it's like this, I think. Is that right? HTML comment. What is it? It is. Come on. Bang. Okay. Bang. And then dash close. And I can paste that in there. Cool. And so that way I have each one of those just kind of already in there, and so that'll let me be able to use it. I could just say that's a 7. Use a spade over here. Make this I don't know, a 10. Use a spade there. So that's a queen or whatever. So if I end up I need to figure out how to keep them all on one line. That'll be an interesting challenge. I may need to adjust my... I'll have to figure out how I can adjust my which that's good enough to represent that. So maybe I drop this down to just, yeah, I can do it like that to make sure that they always stay on on a single line. or something like that, and then this, make it a just seeing how it kind of. Alright, so that's just a little conceptual drawing here. And right now, okay. Alright, so I need to figure out how to because the idea is not to have to do this. Which it would be fine to go ahead and have this set up in HTML, but I definitely am not going to be doing this part, like the actual items in HTML. It's not going to be hard coded. That's going to be generated in JavaScript. So now that we have a shuffled deck of cards and we have an idea of how to represent it, I now need to start digging into what I've created and actually connecting the two together. This is not, again, this is not graphics. Like, it's just this is the data part. You know, you have to display it somehow. So let's see. Alright, first thing I do is I generate a card deck, I generate the table, and I deal the cards, which just basically initializes this. It sets up the 28 cards. I don't know, I know that there's something else I need to do with the pile or whatever, and have one card flipped over or something like that, and then the foundations or whatnot have to be up here. But being that this is the basic thing, I'm going to start here. Alright, so after I've dealt the cards, dealing the cards sets up these tableau. Okay, this whole area here with the columns contains the cards right now, because if I come back over here, I've actually printed it out. This is tableau. It's actually represented in memory. It's actually in a data structure. It's an array. Something that was kind of hanging out there that I remember is, I don't really know, like during the flow of gameplay, how long a column could actually get in here. After thinking about it, this is something I thought about when I went for kind of a walk earlier. After thinking about it, just hearing the ultimate goal of solitaire, it seems like if you have a card here, when I was reading before, let's see, let me get those rules of Klondike back up. I went to the bicycle cards website. That one was a really good description. It seems like it says the deal out 28 cards and 7 piles. The top card is up. Okay. The 4 aces form the foundations. As it becomes available, each ace must be played in a row above the piles. Cards in the appropriate suit are then played on the aces in sequence. The 2, then the 3, and so on as they become available. Any movable card may be placed on a card next higher in rank if it is of opposite color. Example, a black 5 may be played on a red 6. If more than one card is face up on a tableau pile, all such cards must be moved as a unit. When there is no face up card left on a pile, the top face down card is turned up and becomes available. Only a king may fill an open space in the layout. the player turns up cards from the top of the stock in groups of 3, and the top card of the 3 may be used for building on the piles. If possible, played on a foundation. If a card is used in this manner, the card below it becomes available for play. If the up card cannot be used, the 1, 2, or 3 cards of the group are placed face up on the waste pile, and the next group of 3 cards is turned up. That sounds more complicated than I'm sure it is. Let's see. Klondike solitaire instructions. I need to see. I'm trying to necessarily watch a video. Okay, this is what I'm looking for, like something where it's arranged. Alright, we got this. Okay, the waste pile, that's the 3 cards. That's the stock pile. As each ace, okay, what's an available card? Are these the available cards? The object of the game is to build the 4 foundations up in ascending suit sequence from ace to king. As each ace becomes available, it may be transferred to a row above the tableau to start one of the 4 foundations. The foundations are built up in ascending suit sequence to the king. The exposed card of a tableau column may be transferred to a foundation of the same suit if it follows the ascending sequence, or to the exposed card of another column if it forms a descending sequence of alternating colors. Okay. A complete packed column of face-up cards may also be transferred to the exposed card of another tableau column if the join follows the same descending sequence of alternating colors. If the movement of a tableau card exposes a face-down card, then it is turned face-up. When a tableau column is completely cleared out, the space may only be filled by a king or a packed column headed by a king. When no more moves are available from the tableau, the top 3 cards from the stock are dealt face up without upsetting their order to a single waste pile. The top exposed card of the waste pile is always available for play to the foundations or tableau. When the stock has been exhausted, the waste pile is picked up and turned over to form a new stock. When the stock has been exhausted, the waste pile is picked up and turned over to form a new stock, and the game continues. This procedure is continued until the game eventually blocks or is won. A variation of the game allows a single card. Okay. This sounds a bit complicated. Don't panic. Solitaire City features a unique hands-on training system that can teach you the rules of an unfamiliar game. Okay, so what it sounds like is that we get our initial setup, and I would look at this. There's an example. I'm trying to do this without watching some sort of a video or anything, because it feels like I'll understand it better if I do that. There's an example here in the book that uses this setup as it currently is right now, that uses that as an example. So in the rows starting from the left going to the right, the 7 rows are Jack of clubs, 9 of diamonds, 4 of diamonds, 4 of spades, Ace of spades, King of diamonds, and 10 of spades. It says any aces are taken from the layout and used as bases to be built upward in each suit, 2, 3, 4 to Jack, Queen, King. Cards may be shifted from one layout column to another to form descending sequences in alternating colors, red, black, or vice versa. Such sequences can only be shifted in their entirety. This removal of a face-up card or cards allows a face-down card to be turned up on its column, thus becoming available for play. So that indicates that these are the cards that are available for play. That was what I was trying to figure out. Okay, that answers one question. When a column is completely cleared,
a king may be moved into the space thus left. Example, with the layout shown, build ace of spades and turn up a card as queen of clubs. Okay, so what they're saying is, in this case, I would take that ace of spades that's in the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th column, and I would move it to the foundations, to one of the foundations. So that becomes the spade foundation. I then turn up the card that was under that, and it turns out that it was the queen of clubs. So I would move the queen of clubs onto the king of diamonds, which was in the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6th column. That's it there. It's in the 6th column. I'll put it on top of that. It's an alternating color, so it's descending. So that queen of diamonds goes on top of the king of no, that queen of clubs goes on top of the king of diamonds. Clubs is black, king is red. Clubs is black, diamond is red. So that's descending because they're alternating. Okay, and turn up 9 of clubs. So I ended up turning up the 9 of clubs on the 5th column. Move the 9 of diamonds, which is the 2nd column, onto the 10 of spades, descending because it's alternating, and turn up ace of clubs, which is the last card in the 2nd column. I could build the clubs now. Okay. Move dime. Okay. Okay. When play is blocked, as it is now in the example, after a couple more moves, the top card of the remaining pack or stock is turned up and built or added to a sequence if possible. Example, 8 of hearts could be placed on 9 of clubs. Otherwise, it is laid aside face up to form a discard pile. The next card of the pack is then turned up, and so on. Always, the top card of the discard pile or waste pile is available for play and may uncover a previous discard that may also become available. In the original game, a player can deal out the pack only once, so to build as many as 10 cards is better than average. A popular procedure is to turn the discard pile face down and again turn up cards one by one, repeating this a 3rd time if necessary before abandoning the game. Another way is to begin by turning up 3 cards in a group and continuing thus through the pack, time after time. Each play from the discard pile will bring other cards into view the next time through. As an added rule, when dealing by 3s, if the pack gets down to 6 cards or less, they may be gone through singly indefinitely. Okay, so that somewhat matches what we saw, but I answered my 2 questions. I answered my 1 question, which is these are the cards that are available. If this is blocked, then we turn up. In this version, they're saying you turn up to 3 to see if you can make a play there. But that answered my first question, which cards are available. It's either the waste pile, if this can't move, or it's these cards. These are the ones that are available. Okay. My second question, and which gets back at the original sort of thing, was something that was left is I wasn't sure how long one of these, because we're representing this in a 2-dimensional array. We have 7 columns in here. How long could each one of these ever become? I think I kind of got an answer here, because let's look at the longest column, that's the column that's the longest from the beginning. If it's 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and let's say that we somehow start playing on this column, so this jack here, jack of clubs, if let's say I had this isn't alternating, so I can't play that on there. I would have to match the suit, so I can't play anything here. But let's say I were to build this foundation and move the ace of clubs up here and turn this card up. Let's say that this was a queen of diamonds. I could play that on here, because that would be descending. Is that correct? Yes, that would be, no, that would be ascending. I'm sorry. So let's say that this was a 10 of diamonds. If I took this off, foundation, flip this second card over, and it was a 10 of diamonds, I could play that here, right? And let's just say in the course of play, somehow I got like a whole stack of descending all the way to 2 from here. This has 7 cards in it, and from let's say that this was, you know, the top card there. King is the top card. Let's say that this was right here. The maximum I could get would be 12 cards, because an ace would automatically go up here. The max that I could ever possibly have in here, well, even if the max that I could ever possibly have in here would be 12 cards plus the amount that were already there, because this would be Jack, Jack, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2 in this case. All right, if this were a king, that would add one more, so it would be King, Queen, Jack, 10, 9, 8, 7, 5, 6, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. So the longest column being 7 plus 12, the max it seems right now that I could have in any column would be 19 cards, because that would represent the longest column having, say, a king on it, and then somehow just through, you know, the course of the game building on top of that one, you know, which it would require you to never, you know, to never get to a point where you could move it to another stack or something, or move it to a foundation or something like that. But that's the highest possibility, is 19 cards, it seems. So what I'm going to do is come back over here, and I'm going to change this 7, the inner 7. So the indices going in each column, I'm going to change this 7 to a 19, just to leave space just in case. Now that shouldn't change anything in terms of functionality. Like, everything should still be the same. It's just that these are going to be longer. All right, there's more empty space in here. And we see there in that longest column, there's 12 other cards could go on top of that. Okay, so that's that second question that I had, was what's the longest, and that appears logically, just, you know, guessing at it, kind of working it out from the rules. But what's great is I kind of understand a little bit more about solitaire now. So these are the available cards, the face-up cards initially starting off. What we need to do is now tie into, in our HTML up here, we need to tie into each of these columns. The first thing that makes me recognize is that I need to make each one of these columns somehow unique. I need to make each of these columns somehow unique so that they're actually accessible. Because I could leave this like kind of hard coded where I have the HTML there, but I'm starting to see an advantage possibly in generating these in JavaScript. Okay, so I'm going to come here. I could give each one of these a unique ID and just get them by their ID and hold on to a reference to them, and then just use each one of them as I needed to modify them. But that would be a lot of hard coding. What I'd prefer to do, let's try something. Let's see. I can create elements. I can say document dot. How do you create an element? Create element.
document.create element. I'm going to create a div. Okay. I need to save a reference to that. I'm going to say var column1 equals document.create element. Okay, I just created a div. Alright, the thing about that is that div doesn't exist in the document yet. I just created it. It's just a thing in memory right now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to add my styling stuff to it, because my CSS is already like predefined. I've created container and what have you, and so what I can do is I can go ahead and attach. I can say column1 dot class. I can let's see. Alright, where was I? Okay, class name gets and sets the value of the class. Okay, I can set class name to tableau call and container. I think I can do it like that. Right, I can do that. I can go ahead and set that. Yeah. Now to actually put in the document, I think I need to do document dot append child. It says adds a node to the end of the list of children of a specified parent node. If the node already exists, it is removed from the current parent node and then added to the new parent node. So I'm going to say append child, and the node I want to add it to is going to be this. It's going to be the table box. I'll have to grab it by saying document dot get element by ID table box, and that should append it to that element. So if I save that and refresh it, I should see what happened. Only one element on document allowed. Failed to execute append child on node. Only one element. Okay, did I try to append this but to the wrong thing? What does get element by ID return? Oh, I know what's wrong. Document dot body. Okay, I did that wrong. Dot let's see. Turns a collection. Yeah. I need to get, because if I'm not mistaken, get element by ID returns an element. It does not return a node. Is there a get node? I need that specific thing. Because what I tried to do there was to append that to child. Let's see, document dot body returns the body or frame set node dot dot, I think
what I can do is I need to figure out how to get that node. I know I can do child nodes. Oh, okay. You can get it by item number. Body dot children's elements. This returns a, no, that's the one. Okay, so do I have a count of the nodes? Let's see. Let's just go ahead and do this. Let's say child nodes. I'm going to do this. I'm going to pull that out. I'm going to comment this out. And then I'm just going to print that out in the console first. I'm going to say console.log the child nodes and just see what they are. Text, comment, text, div, play area, container, okay, text, script. So the play area, okay, and then inside it's going to have its own children. Okay, it's going to have its own children. And the one I want is number 5 inside that. So I will be getting 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so I can do this. Append child document dot body dot child nodes. How do I, that just returns, can I do this, child nodes 3 dot child nodes 5, which that's the one I want. It's 3 of the outer. It's 3 of the outer, and then 5 of this one. So that's what I'm going to append to. I want to append it to that. Alright. Set this back to Tableau. We should see this when it happens. Failed to execute append child on node on line 92. Only one element on document allowed. Let's search that error. JS, only one element on document allowed. What am I doing? What am I doing? What am I doing? What am I doing? There's a difference between the root node of a document and the document element, what you want. Right, which is, oh, I get it. Okay, I see. I need to call. And, okay. Huh, interesting. I wonder if that makes that unnecessary. Let's see. Okay, let's see what this looks like now in there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 still. Where did it append it? Is that Oh, wait. Oh, no, I did it wrong. Okay. Document.body.append. Okay, I did this wrong. Okay, I see what I did wrong. Okay, cool. I did it. Okay. Document.body. What I actually want to do is this. Document.body.append child. And then I want to append to that the element I created, column 1. I think. Let's try that. Yeah, there we go. Okay. So I got the order wrong. I knew that you couldn't append to the body. So I was using body. I knew that you couldn't append, that you had to go in and get the body. Because what I was doing before when I was saying document.append child, I was attempting to append a child element to the entire document, which is the HTML and everything. And you can't do that. So I had to go inside this where I'm actually able to modify it and say document.body.append child. However, I was doing it in the wrong place. I was saying document.append child. I was still doing that where the thing you're appending to is the thing that's going to have the append child, where you're going to call append child from. Right now, I'm calling append child from what I looked through to find that the body and then its child nodes and the third item in there, which is the play area, and then the 5th item inside play area, which is the tableau. That's where I want to append the child. And so I just stuck all that for this little thing in there, which is just a proof of concept to see if I can actually do that, which I just proved that I could. So what that means I can do is that I can iterate through 7 of these and actually generate these columns, because this item, if I'm not mistaken, actually does have where is it? This item actually does have the class attribute and everything on it. It actually is tableau call, and it's a container because we see it got the style. So that actually worked. Class name and everything works. Okay, so there's a lot of wrangling around. I'm at about an hour for this video already. I'm just gonna break this up into a separate session so that the video is not too long for rendering. But okay, that works. So now what I need to do is create yet another function that's going to set up. Well, no, I can take this inside of the deal cards function. What I need to do is I need to create a data structure to back this up, which I have one. Which is Tableau, because what we're seeing here is actually going to be a direct representation of Tableau. What I need to do is map the two of them together via some function that will build this. So in deal cards, the question is, do I want to separate the functionality? for setting up the data on screen, the display of it. I mean, it's almost like graphics anyway, kind of. Is it really worth the trouble? I don't think it's really worth the trouble of going through generating all of this. Really, what I could do is just go ahead and create all these items. Well, there's going to be 19 possible items. 19 possible items in each one of these. So I don't want to hard code that in HTML. So it's best to just go ahead and do it this way. So, okay. I'm just going to make a separate function. I may need to move where it is. Function, I'm going to, everything that goes on screen, I'm going to say display tableau. This is what I'm going to do. Okay. I'm going to do this. Each column 1 create element. Column 1 is the div. Okay. So I'll create my 7 columns. I can just create a loop that creates 7 columns. I'm gonna have to code that up so that I have access to those. I have a reference to those things. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna actually create a class. I'm gonna call this the data display object. That's what this is going to be. This is going to be the data display class, basically. Okay, so this will be something that can actually be constructed, and it's going to have functions. It's going to have methods inside it. Okay, what that'll allow me to do is to keep all the functionality of this encapsulated in here, and then I can call methods on it to do things at certain instances whenever I need to. So data display, and again this is ES5, so there's no class keyword here, and it's just because that's what I remember. I'm gonna create an array of I'm gonna create the div, or the divs, so it'll start off. How do I want to do this? Data display, it'll be like a has a relationship. Do I want data display to actually be the tableau, basically? Because if I did, I could do this dot column 1 and then do this and have it actually be the data display, actually have it be the tableau itself. Or I could just have it act on the tableau, but having it act on it insinuates that it already exists, let's say in HTML. So I'm gonna just make it the thing, so it will have a it will have columns. Okay, I can go through this and I can make the 7 columns. Okay. Doing them this way with the this keyword makes them accessible outside of the object. It makes them basically public. If I declare them with a var, it would make them private. I don't know if I want to do that later. Okay. So it creates 7 divs. It has 7 divs. I can create a function inside here. I can say this dot populate columns is a function, and I can let it I could call this method to set up I could call this method to set up to do the rest of this stuff. So for column 1, it would go through and do these things, and it would append. What I could do is just do this for each column and append. Okay, I've created this is one column. What I could do is in each column append the little paragraph elements inside there. I could append 19 paragraph elements inside there. And what that will set up basically is a child node list, basically. And that's what I would use to then access any of those as cards are moved in and out of those. Just like I reached in there and got this. And then at the end of it, once it's all created, I would then append each column in turn to the container, to the play area, basically, just like I did here. I would then append the whole each one of those to that, and then they would come to exist. Each column would take its little paragraph children with it, and then that still leaves me with access to them through the child nodes, the node list. So I've got these 7 columns. I need to actually do a quick review of how methods and what have you. I think I'm doing this right. I haven't done it. I have a book, Object Oriented JavaScript. It's a little small book. It's on one of my shelves here. Yeah, there it is. Let's see. It's a really kind of small book, but it's extremely helpful. It's ES5. Let's see, I'm going to find constructors, prototypes, object methods, page 24. Let's see. Okay, this object. that is, so I'm doing this on the prototype chain. I'm trying to, constructors and prototypes. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, I'm doing it right. So this dot, the name of the method or whatever. Yeah. Okay, I can do it that way. All right, that's valid. So, so I'm doing that, and then what I'm gonna do in here is I'm gonna say for me and my longhand for loops. I'm gonna eventually use the for each here and use the keys or whatever, but this is easier for now. Let's see. All right, I am going to take each column. And inside of it, I'm going to create, what I'll need to do is I'll need this to accept, I'll need that to accept a column. And then what I'll do is I'll take the column and I'll say column, let's see, what will that, I need to make sure that the thing is, I gotta make sure that what I'm doing, because what I want to do is create more elements. I'm gonna say I'm gonna create a temporary holding spot. I'm gonna make a var space equals document dot create element, and I'm going to create a paragraph element, and then call, I want to use call as though it is a because I don't have a way to, there is a way I think that you can go through here and reference each thing. I could do my long switch statement thing again, but there is a way that I could like get at the literal value of this. The simpler way may be to do this. It's not necessarily simple, it's long. I'm sure there's a simpler, easier, cleaner way to do this. Case 1, I'm going to say this dot that creates a problem because this is now referring, if I'm not mistaken, to this anonymous function of mine here. Can I use super? No. How do I do this? Inside of this function, because I don't understand the scoping. This, when it starts getting hairy like that, it's probably because I'm going about it wrong. I need to get back up to, let's see, inheritance
I need to get back up to let's get rid of this. I don't need that. Can I just get it a dot? I can't do that. I'll have to figure out a way to let's see, ES5 classes. Class method, let's say. Let's see. This dot height. This is ES6. This is not. Is there any way to get the old ES5? Alright, let's okay. I'm attempting to operate on the, let's not do that. Let's just not do it this way. When I create this, it's a function, so all this runs. When I create this, I need a clean way. I can just do it in a for loop. I can just bring it out to the outside. Been at it a little bit too long. I'm starting to get hazy because I'm thinking at the same time. I'm going to do my switch that I was about to do there, which is, this is going to be really longhand and sucky. But that's what I have to do just to get to the next phase, because it's kind of starting to run together on me. Break case 2, break case 3, break case 4, and case. Just, there's no need lamenting the longhand. Let's just do this. This dot, call 1. Okay, inside here, I'm gonna make another 4. Okay, there's going to be 19 of these. J less than 19 J plus plus. I can just copy this. Call 1 dot append child. I can just say well, I need to set some properties on it. So I need to declare a variable. I'm going to say, I wonder if I could, let's see, I can do this. I can declare this outside of here so I don't have to keep redeclaring it. Var new space. Okay. Equals, let's just make it var new space equals what? Well, that doesn't make any sense. I'm going to be creating a new one every time. Can I clone an element? let's see, I'm just gonna, since this is an element, can I clone? I saw something that said clone one time. Yes, returns a duplicate of the node on which this method was called. Clone node. It returns an element. If I said append child, yeah, because they're all the same. So I should be able to say var new space equals document dot create dot create element. It's going to be a P, and then I want to say new space dot class name equals just so that I have, you know, something to be able to style it if I want to. New space dot class name equals what let's just call it card. No, I may need that. Yeah. I'm trying to think of the things I may need to do to it. There could be, I'm going to say, I'm just going to call it space, whatever. But I just thought of something. There could be an advantage to having an ID. Dot ID. How do I do that? Set attribute. ID. I'm going to set it to I would have to do that inside here. And then, no, because I'm trying to create a generic item. I'm going to actually do this out here. I'm trying to create a generic item that I can just clone. And then what I'm going to do is append child. New space dot clone node. Returns a duplicate of the node on which this method was called. Bool deep. Let's see what that actually does, because it's easy enough to JS clone node. Is that optional? That's optional. Get element by ID p prime equals pi clone node true, and the deep on empty elements. Okay, it clones it if there's text or whatever. Okay, so I'm just gonna say clone node. Okay, cool. So that'll put 19
of those inside of that and break. This is happening everywhere. The only reason I'm doing it this way is because I don't know how to iterate through. I guess I could iterate through. I think there's a way to get all of the properties, but that's weird. There's a way to get a list of all the properties inside of a object. But that's like really meta. I don't know. I don't know why I kind of resist doing that, because it feels really meta. It doesn't feel like I'm not dealing with the program and the data model. I'm like screwing around with the machinery of it. I don't know. It feels weird. Okay, so it'll iterate through each one of these, and it should create 19. It should create 19 of those in each one. At the end of this, so that's when I construct this, when I construct data display. I really want to encapsulate this in some sort of function that says like init data display or something like that, but I'm just going to run it to see if it works, because at the end of it, once I've done that, I then need to append it to the document the same way that I did this other thing where I was playing around. I need to append it. I need to iterate through that and append. Okay, I'm gonna have to make another for this same way. And each time through, oh boy, I need to do this. No, I need to do this inside of each one of those. Once I've finished this, I need to do that there. I need to append the column. Yeah. I need to append the column each time. This is a lot of longhand stuff, but it seems to work. Maybe. We're gonna find out. Alright. I feel like I'm kind of out in the weeds now. Alright, so each time through, I'm going to go back up here and I'm going to comment out all this. I'm going to leave, because what am I creating? These are all divs. Okay. Yeah, and so I can comment out. I can comment out all of this. Okay, I can comment all that out. And then I need to get rid of this stuff that I did here. Let's do this. I'm going to say var model element. Let's see, model column equals this. And then I'm going to do this here and do that on model call, and then change each of these I'm going to change each of these to
document dot. Can I even do that? Document dot clone. Yeah. Document dot clone node. Then call it model call. Skip to here. Replace. Oh no. No, I don't. That's not right. It's not. No. I'm gonna change that, get rid of that, and say model call dot clone node. Replace. There we go. All right, and that'll just make each one of them that. That'll make each one of them the same as this, and then each one of these will append all the new spaces in there, and then append each one in turn to the the play area container, the tableau container. And then I can get rid of this. Okay, let's try this out and see if it works. To run it, because it's just a function, I really probably could have just did all these as vars, because I was going to do some sort of object, and I may still do that at some point, but I'm very tired and confused now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say all I really have to do is say new data display, honestly. I don't even have to keep a reference to it, because I'm just going to do it dd equals new data display, and then if I come here and then just say console.log dd dot call one, just to see what's in it, comment this out, save, and see what happens. Uncall reference call one is not defined. 121. Oh. I don't know. I could have just used var, because this object is not really necessary. It doesn't seem so. If I save that, line 123. All right. Let's see, so that it knows what I'm talking about. All right, let's see. Yep. Okay, that created those, but each of those paragraph elements are empty. So there's 19 of them in there. And then if I go to the
the actual HTML, I'll see there's 19 spaces inside of there. The class is space, but they don't have any text in them, so they're all empty. And so I got my columns. We basically got back to what we had done up here, just all in JavaScript. It didn't take all this kind of extended stuff that I have here. I don't know why I just kind of got that switch thing stuck in my head because I'm doing so much repetitive stuff. I'm sure there's some other way that I could do that. But I have to do what makes sense while I'm running through it. Okay. So, I got those generated. I'm an hour and a half on this. I need to take a break, like something serious. Going at this long is not working out as well as I'm starting to get cloudy on some things, so I'm gonna have to take a break. It's really not that much code. It's just really verbose because of the way I'm doing some stuff. But I mean, it's working. I got my elements that I need. I have I just generated in code in JavaScript each of the columns. Okay, and the way I would get access to each of those columns is now through, if I come to for instance here, I could do, because I did save this, what I also have access to is I could say, just as a test here, I could say dd dot call one dot child child nodes at the index of, let's say 0, because it's going to look like that anyway, because none of the other ones have. I could say dot inner text equals, I could do that thing that I did before and do that, because I have access to those now, and it'll actually put it there. I can do the same thing. Obviously I can do it, programmatically, one, and make it, something else. Well, no, I wouldn't want to do that, because only one would be turned up. I could do that way. Right, and so now I actually have access to each one of those, which is cool. So that was the benefit of doing it that way. Is because now I've built the kind of the data model. That was a lot of wrangling around, but it actually yielded some results, because now I can map the tableau, the actual data model of tableau, onto this now. Now I can that method that I was thinking of making before, like populate, to populate each of these, I can now map from Tableau over to this, and that's what I'll do kind of in the next video. But I am tired and very confused now. I need to take a break, so I'll be back in a little while.